It's the Go Gopher podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 50. What a nice round number. We're glad you've been with us through the first 50, and here's hoping for another 50 and beyond. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. We have a special Bowl Week preview of Gopher football, as Gopher senior safety Tyler Nubin will be a return guest for this 50th episode. Tyler recently announced he would utilize one more year of eligibility and return for the Gophers next season. He was among the leaders in interceptions in the Big Ten this year and was an all-conference performer. You'll love hearing once again from the youngster from St. Charles, Illinois. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, you can start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. You can get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're also glad to be partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union here on the Go Gopher podcast. Affinity Plus has been a long-time Golden Gopher supporter. Affinity Plus is more than just a financial institution. They support so many good causes, including Gopher athletics. Also, they're a big-time supporter of Special Olympics Minnesota. Find out more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Our podcast is also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplinInsurance.com. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher podcast. You can go back and listen to other podcasts as well. Last week, for example, we talked with Golden Gopher tight end Brevin Spanford of St. Cloud, and we had a most enjoyable conversation. This week, it's episode number 50, and we have a Pinstripe Bowl preview edition. Golden Gopher safety Tyler Nubin will be along next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
Hey Gopher fans, this is your State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. We are super excited to be part of the new Mike Grimm Show on Talk North. For the year of 2022, we will be donating $10 to the University of Minnesota Children's Masonics Hospital for everyone that calls our office or checks in with us online and mentions that they heard about us on Talk North and the Mike Grimm Show. We are really excited again that Mike came on board with Talk North. You can reach us at 763-421-4900. You can find us on the web at ChamplinInsurance.com. Again, 763-421-4900, or find us on the web at ChamplinInsurance.com. Roll the boat, Sky Yuma, go Gophers.
Welcome to episode number 50, the Go Gopher podcast. Always fun to be round numbers, and it's 50 episodes now, and we have a special guest, Gopher senior safety Tyler Nubin. How about episode number 50 here?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, dog.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you. You're a return visitor.
Yes,
Trip
sir.
number 2 here for
Yes,
the
yeah.
podcast. Thank you again. It's always fun to get insight from kind of behind the curtain with the program and how things are going, get to know you guys more as people too, which is fun, right? Because we see number 27 out there making tackles and intercepting passes, and then to find out more about you is always good.
Yes,
So
sir.
we appreciate it. You obviously made news here in the last month or so when you announced that you would be coming back. You had options, obviously. You could have entered the NFL draft, but you said, nope, you had 1 year left, the COVID year, because you didn't redshirt.
No, yeah, I'm a true senior.
So you're going to take the 5th year. Take us through that decision. And I know Gopher fans were waving the maroon and gold pom-poms when they saw that. What went into it? Because I know it wasn't, a snap decision, certainly.
Right, yeah, it was definitely a long process, man. Talking to my family, talking to my coaches, and, really, taking the time to sit down, with myself and take the time to figure out what I really wanted. And, I really determined that, I got unfinished business here. I still got my degree up in the air. I still have a chance to get that. And, I just wasn't ready to leave yet, man. This it's a great university, man. I love playing for the Gophers, man. And, I I would be kicking myself if I didn't give it one more run.
One more shot here, and there's a lot I'm sure that went into it. How were you able to talk to somebody too, just in general terms of here's kind of what the prospects are from a pro perspective if you go now, or what if you come back and all of a sudden you have an even better season as a senior? How did that all go into it?
Yeah, that it goes into it a little bit. We have a really good NFL liaison, Marcus Hendrickson, that gives us, really great information on, where you are in the eyes of the NFL and, the coaches and, the scouts and stuff, of that nature. But for me, it was really more of, getting a chance to finish my education, man, and coming back and playing for my brothers, especially with my little brother, having another year with him. So, that was definitely the most important thing for me.
Yeah, I've got that on my list to ask. How much did your brother being on the team factor into it?
A lot, man, because, growing up with him, man, we've only gotten a couple chances to be on the same team together. So I thought, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to, get one more year with him, man.
Yeah, and in essence, you guys have been roommates, right, your whole life. You grew up in the same house, but one more year of living with your brother because eventually real life hits, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
I can see that. I can see the pull of that. And you talked about how maybe his arrival on campus coincided with you taking your leadership game to another level. Remind me a little about how that role or how that helped your role there.
Yeah, I mean, being a big brother, that's always the mentality you're going to get into when your little brother steps on campus, man. You just want to be that leader for him and, be able to be that guy that, I wish I had when I stepped on the campus. So just being that for him really just, made it more comfortable for me to, be that every single day around my teammates and, bring that to the team. So, he was definitely a really big factor in that for sure.
Jordan, of course, your brother is he came in as a defensive back. We talked about this last time too, and then when all the running backs got hurt last year,
Coach Burns took him away, man.
He stole him from the defense. So then you get to go up against him because he played a lot of the scout team as well. And I think he's been kind of fighting a nagging injury too, right? And so it was fun. You said you didn't back down when he got the ball.
Never ever. Come on now, you got to welcome him to college football, man. You got to show him what it's about.
How about your teammates too, in terms of the decision just to continue with? Of course, your brother's your teammate, but there's I'm sure some of the best friends you've made in your life are here on campus as well. Did that play a factor too to come back with those guys?
Yeah, 100%, man. Guys like Trill coming back that I'm gonna play with next year. He was my first roommate when I got on the campus, so that's my guy. Everybody, it's the whole team, but especially guys like that. Obviously I'm gonna miss my boy Jordan. I'm gonna miss Jay Howe out there next year, but it was just too much to say no to.
Yeah, and how good can this team be next year? I know there's a bowl game yet to play, and you'd love to stamp it with a win, and 9 wins is important, I think, to get back-to-back 9-win years and all of that. That said, we can take a little peek here for the purposes of our discussion as to what it looks like next year. A new recruiting class was just signed this week as we talk, and transfer portal, and then returning guys that are your teammates. So what do you think about next fall?
I think it can be dangerous, man. I think, we got a lot of key positions, coming back, a lot of leadership coming back, and I think we got a lot of young guys that are going to come in and step up that, you guys have maybe never heard of, names that, haven't been on the field but, have been silently working in the background. I think they're going to have a really good opportunity to come in and do their thing next year.
Name some names. Tell me who Gopher fans are going to know next year as some impact guys that maybe are on the roster right now. And because, Jordan Howland's been here and has a starting job, has won that job, that now someone's got to fill those shoes and other spots around. Tea Time is going to fill that spot. So who are some guys that you foresee, particularly in the secondary?
Particularly in the secondary, we got a lot of really, really great young talent. Rylan Kelly, he's a guy that can really space it out and cover deep. Tariq Watson, he's going to be really good. Obviously, we got Beanie and Ryan Stapp still, but on the D-line, there's a lot of young talent on the D-line. Anthony Smith, Jacob Schuster, those guys are going to be dogs. We got a lot of really good young linebackers. Obviously, Cody's coming back next year. Devin Williams, Don Willis. We just got a lot of guys that, have been working in the background, behind some guys that, they're going to be some dogs next year.
We saw some guys, too, get a chance because you had the hand injury, Darius Green. I think that kid looks like he can be a player, right?
Yeah, Darius is going to be a dog, man. He's not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of nothing. He'll go stick his nose in there with anybody, and he's one of the best cover guys that we got on the team, even though he's a young guy. So
yeah. And Coleman Bryson, right?
Yep.
What's he? I think the coaches seem to like him as a potential safety as well.
Yeah, he's really explosive, man. If you watch him practice, if you watch him run, he's super explosive. He's real smart. Really picks up on the defense really well, making checks out there, making plays. You've seen it from the first, month that he was on campus in player practice. He was making interceptions that I didn't make till my junior year. So, he's gonna be a really exciting player, man. Just as long as he keeps developing, keeps working, man. He's a really smart kid, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun of being a fan. It was the fun of watching you develop into the guy you've become now, and we talked about that on the last podcast as well. So now it's the Pinstripe Bowl next week. I had your friend Brevin Spanford last week, and he said it was he's looking forward to it. He'd never been to New York. Everyone's got their own unique reason to want to go to New York. He's like, Home Alone too, man. Yeah. And I'm like, holy cow. So what about your thoughts on going out to the Big Apple?
Man, I'm excited just like he is, bro. That's a place that, I've never stayed at before. So, I'm excited to see all the sights, man, being the concrete jungle. All my favorite rappers, honestly, are from New York. Jay-Z, Biggie, like all those guys. I love it. So it's going to be a great experience.
So you've never been out there either?
I've been out there one time, but it was only for a day. It was like before I went on a cruise. So I went to like Times Square for like 10 minutes and then we had to go. So
so this will be your first extended time. Now you guys fly out Sunday. As we talk, we're recording Friday, Christmas Eve, I guess. Right. As we talk, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow, Christmas Day Sunday, and you guys head out on Christmas Day. It's my understanding that the team will go to the Rockettes performance on Christmas night. Think about that experience at Radio City Music Hall. You're looking forward to that? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, man. That's going to be awesome. We actually we talked about it in a team meeting. Coach Fleck, he played a little bit of it, gave us a little taste. So I'm excited. You think about that performance, and they're world famous, and people come from all over the world to watch them, and you get to watch them on Christmas night. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be awesome. Man. The game, and I know you got other stuff. We'll talk about the game in a minute, but it sounds like you might be able to catch a hockey game, the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, so you get to see the world's most famous arena. Yeah, honestly, and that's a place I've never been to either. But I'm a huge NBA fan. I always love watching Knicks versus Bulls games. I remember D Rose hitting that step back over Carmelo in 2012. Man, that's like one of my favorite plays ever. But it's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait. See, and I'm a little older than you. I remember the Bulls and Knicks when Michael Jordan put it on Pat Ewing and John Starks. Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's old school. Oh, yeah. But that was that rivalry, the Knicks and Bulls, goes back a ways. So it won't be hoops. You'll get hockey. Are you a hockey guy at all? I know Minnesota fans are gonna hate to hear I'm not, but hockey games are exciting. I've been to a couple at the U, and they are exciting. Yeah. But like sitting and watching it on TV, I don't know. Like you'll pass on that. Yeah, I got you. Now, I've gotten to. I was in your boat a little bit too, in the sense of hockey. I've gotten into it now, having lived here for 17 years. Mm-hmm. Plus, I've gotten to know some of the guys on the hockey team over the years. So when you start knowing people, and I mean not knowing like as friends, just interviewing them, and you like them, and they're good personality, and they've had success. So when you start having it that you can start pulling for them, and I spend a lot of Friday nights on those openers watching the Gophers play hockey. Awesome. It's kind of fun. All right, so the other thing is the Ground Zero Museum, 9/11. Were you born? You probably were not born when that happened, right? Yeah, I actually was. I was born June 14th, 2001. Okay. So just right before. Before. So. But certainly not old enough to remember it happening live. That has to be something you're looking forward to seeing too, because it, one of the monumental times in history where at that time it galvanized the country. There's so much now dividing the country. But I think back. I think my son's about your age, because I remember exactly where I was. He was just over a year old, and he had cut his head. He had staples in his head. I'm driving to get. To have those staples taken out that morning. Really? And I got the radio on, and news flash, news bulletin. Wow. And so it galvanized the country. We certainly don't want anything like that to happen again, but there was something about the country coming together. I think you'll enjoy, and it's a good. I think it's a good thing to see. You think about
that. So
I'm looking forward to it, man. Paying my respects and going to see that place, man. It's a monumental part of our history. So I'm just glad we're getting the opportunity to go and see it.
And then other stuff like the week of Christmas or coming right out of Christmas in New York, just walking the streets, I think is going to be fun, right?
Yeah, for real, man. The energy building. The ball's going to drop in a couple of days. My parents are actually going to stay out in New York for the ball drop. They're gonna stay.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're gonna stay and see it in Times Square. So
man,
yeah.
I hope. I mean that it's the one downside of like fans and stuff. It's so expensive that week to go out there, and I'm sure your parents are probably feeling the pinch trying to find hotels.
Yeah,
I was talking to a friend who wanted to go to the game, and cheapest hotel he could find was even during the week was like $500 or $600 a night out in New York. So that's the one downside about the Pinstripe Bowl. But again, as I mentioned, we'll talk about the game itself, but Brevin mentioned that you guys had kind of been following the Derek Jeter documentary this season. So it's a little ironic that you end up playing on the field that he kind of made famous. Obviously, he was in the first Yankee Stadium as well in the 90s, and then this one comes a little later. But what did you take from the Jeter documentary, and do you think there is going to be something cool about being on that field then?
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And one of the main things I took from the Jeter documentary is the process and what it takes to be great. Because everybody knows Derek Jeter, everybody remembers all the things he did on the field, but nobody remembers his first year in the league when he led the entire MLB in errors.
Yeah.
You didn't see the working point, the tipping point that he had to get to, all the failures that he had to go through to be able to beat Derek Jeter. So I think just knowing that whole story, because I didn't know that story. I was just like every other fan. I'm like, oh, Derek Jeter. He's always been awesome. But even him, even the greatest guys have their pitfalls, they have their failures, and they just keep rolling through it, keep going, keep getting better, changing their best, and that's what we talk about all the time in our program. So just be able to see that was awesome, and it's going to be cool to see the stadium where he did it in.
Yeah, right. To be on that field, you come out of that dugout, you'll be, I think, using the Yankees clubhouse as your locker room. It's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly what I thought of when I have not seen the whole documentary, but I've seen pieces of it. And the part where he's the number one pick in the draft, he goes to the minor leagues and struggles. He had like 50 errors one year in the minors. He was hitting like 205,
right.
And I didn't remember that. I don't follow. I love baseball, I really do, but I don't follow the minor leagues enough to really pay that much attention to it. But you're right, there was a breaking point where he just about broke. Like it was we almost didn't know the captain.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then he just fought, and something clicked, and you keep working, and as you say, you keep rowing, and the next thing you know, there he is. So it's funny that that's what you caught, because that was, to me, the biggest thing was overcoming that early, as everyone thought he was going to be great, and then, the crowd starts turning on him, and the Yankee fans are not always the nicest fans. And
it's a process, man.
But then he becomes, one of the greatest Yankees ever, for sure. Game prep now. It's the Syracuse Orange. What can you tell us about how bowl preparation's going for your team?
Man, it's been awesome, man. I think, we do it better than anybody else out there, man. We stay super focused. Throughout bowl prep, man, it's just been great to see some of young guys come and step up and make plays. But as far as Syracuse, man, they're really multiple in their formations. A lot of odd formations, a lot of different plays that we're not used to seeing in the Big Ten. But it's been really interesting to study their plays and learn their plays and learn how they're going to attack us as an offense. So it's been really awesome.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give away any grand secrets or anything, but I did today have a chance to take a sneak peek at your guys' walkthrough. You got a walkthrough. I think you'll have a practice tomorrow. Again, we're Friday recording right now, so when people listen, just so they have some reference of practice tomorrow, you fly out Sunday. But I have, and Coach Fleck and the staff's nice about letting me come and watch. And so there's sometimes I see stuff that I can't say or whatever. But it's good for me just as a background to get ready for a broadcast. And I haven't been to a lot of the walkthroughs before. I don't know if I've been to one. The attention to detail, man. I mean, without getting real specific, I couldn't believe it watching that today. I was blown away by both Kirk Shiraka and Joe Rossi, who led separate walkthroughs with the offense and defense. I mean, there's not a stone unturned, is there?
No, it never is. And honestly, it might look like that to the outside eye, but, that's what we're used to, man. We're a detailed program, especially on the defensive side, man. That's the reason why, we have so much success, just because we never leave stones unturned. There's always possibility for anything. You never know what you're going to get out there. So, being prepared for, almost all situations is how we, make adjustments on the sideline, how we're able to go into halftime and come and stop something that might have worked in the first half, because we have stuff in the bank from being detailed all the way through the season. Yeah. So, that's just picking up off where we left off, honestly.
There was one point today during your guys' walkthrough, too, and I don't think I'm giving away secrets here, and where Joe Rossi, the defensive coordinator, actually said what you just said, where, we just play it by principle, what we've been teaching since August. If they show us a different look than what we're ready for, we just go back to what you've been taught for months, and in your case, years, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We always have, a whole bank and a memory bank of things that we've been talking about through walkthroughs, whether that's from fall camp, whether that's spring ball. We always have something to fall back on, even if it's something that we haven't seen since maybe the beginning of fall camp. We can always go back to, okay, yeah, we did this, and we can pull from that. So it's not. Whenever we make an adjustment, it's not something that we're doing for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, whenever we make an adjustment, we practice it before.
Yeah.
Like, it might not have been this week, but, it's practiced before. So, it's easier to, execute it on the field.
Yeah, and was that? That was a Nebraska game, I think. That was basically it. The quarterbacks, you weren't sure, and so I think Joe Rossi even said, or PJ at least said, Joe said, I'm throwing this call sheet away. We're going to rip
whole
it up.
Playbook out.
Here we go. Right? I mean, but that's the beauty of it, of being prepared. So, and look, there are no guarantees, right? You still got to play it, whether you're prepared or not. I mean, that's a game to play. It doesn't guarantee victory, but it guarantees you're prepared. Right. Given that there has been success in this program with bowl games. I mean, PJ has not lost a bowl game. Do you think part of that is, one, the preparation, and two, in Joe Rossi's case especially, I think there's this kind of thinking that you're going to give him extra time to prepare for an offense. Is there some truth to that, do you think, why you guys have had success in postseason?
Yeah. We always look to out-prepare the opponent in any week, but when you give us extra time, then we're definitely going to out-prepare you. We're going to make sure we out-prepare you every single day, whatever we're doing, whether that's unrequired work, whether that's how we're practicing, whether that's how we're watching film. We're going to out-prepare the opponent every single time. So that's what we pride ourselves in, and that's why we work so hard, because we're really out-preparing ourselves at the end of the day, because you don't know what they're doing. They could be doing the same things we are, but it's about us, and we're focusing on us and our process, and obviously it's been working, so we're not going to change it.
Specific to Syracuse, what kind of things do you expect to see from them, again, without giving away too much of the game plan here on this podcast? But and they have some opt-outs and some injuries and different things, and a new coordinator that will be calling plays. So there's a few twists and turns in there for you guys prep. But what do you see from them just generally as an offense that you guys got to be ready for?
Yeah, they got a really solid running game, man. Their running back, obviously, who opted out, he was one of the best in the country. But, they got a lot of good guys, that back him up. They're going to step in and play. Their quarterback's really athletic, man. He can run. He can sling it. They're going to stretch us vertical down the field in the pass game. So, nothing that, we haven't seen before, but, it's just, different wrinkles just because, it's a different team.
Yeah, and usually, too, right, with bowl teams, as you guys have extra time to prepare, an offense – there's no doubt. I mean, I'm sure the Gophers are working on a wrinkle or two that maybe we haven't shown per se. That you guys will have to go back to the principles if there's a wrinkle that Syracuse comes out with at some point. Right, next week?
Yeah, and just like Coach Rossi said, just like you heard him say, we're just going to go back to, we call it training camp rules. So, that we're just going to go back to the things that we've always worked on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I also think one of the reasons that PJ Fleck and his staff have had success in bowl games is that they have an ability to get you guys excited. I've always thought in bowl games, especially that aren't playoff games, the team that wants to be there is going to have a better chance to win.
True.
I think back to that 2018 game in Detroit when you guys were playing Georgia Tech, and it was clear to me, at least early on, Georgia Tech wanted no part of Detroit. They didn't want to be there. And you guys were like, hey, look, we won the last 2 games of the year, won the Axe. We're on a roll. Let's just keep it going. Mo has the big game. Daniel Falele's pancaking guys 25 yards downfield. And it was kind of a scene of set the table for all that great success from 2019 and all the way up to this point. So I guess the question is, I could see where someone's, man, it would have been nice to go to Tampa or Orlando or, California or whatever, where it's warm and New York's not warm. So how genuinely excited? I mean, because I think to win, you got to be excited. You guys excited about it?
Of course, man. I mean, it doesn't matter what game we're in, what game we're playing, or who we're playing, man. Like, I think we just got a bunch of guys in this program who love football. So wherever you want to put the ball down, let's get it. Like, we don't care. Like, we gonna go, and we gonna give it our all, and we gonna prepare like it's a championship week, just like we always do. Every game's a one-game championship season. So we just love football, man, and we just want to put the ball down. Let's go.
So some of that, I'm sure, is you guys that you love it. Mm-hmm. Two is, I think, the coaching staff recruits guys who want to play and love football. So maybe that's all part of that mix, right?
True.
I mean, I would guess most guys want to play football, but you guys want to play football.
Yeah, we love to play football. Some guys want to play football. We love to play football.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back a few weeks here. Well, more than a few weeks now. I want to go back to, I guess, first the Iowa game, and not to bring up, that was a game. You guys played really well in that game. Yeah, you're at one point in that game late. You're 88% chance to win. I think I saw some, thing, a statistician or whatever, how they do the win percentage, and then just some funky things happen and they get you. Yeah. You end up getting injured in that game, so you miss the next week against Wisconsin. So I've got a two-part question about that game. One, how much fun was it to watch your guys win the X? Yeah. Two, how hard was it to watch those guys win the X from the sideline?
It was super fun, man. Honestly, being able to see, some of the other guys go in there like Flip, go in there and do his thing. Darius go in there and do his thing, man, was awesome, man, to just, see them go out and do the things that they've been doing all year. But it was hard. Obviously, I wanted more than anything to be a part of that game. But, once that final whistle blew, it didn't matter. I didn't care if I played or not. I was celebrating.
The joy was there.
I celebrated like I just caught 3 picks in that game. I didn't care, man. It was awesome. So, the experience at the end, it's all the same, man. I just wanted to get the win.
Yeah, and the joy you have in that win, and then as you mentioned, you have some teammates who got to step up, and then your other teammates who have been with you through the wars get to celebrate that. Some of those guys playing, the final time in a regular season game anyway. Did you get your hands on the axe?
Oh, yeah.
Did you chop some goalposts? Now, Brevin said he didn't last week. He said he just watched.
Yeah,
he did not chop.
Oh no, I didn't chop. No, I was definitely holding the axe. So I had the axe on the whole bus ride home. He was strapped up, double strapped in the seatbelt next to me. Don't worry.
You were not letting it get away.
No, I couldn't.
Paul Bunyan's axe get away. And of course you're from the Chicago area, so you're in Big Ten country. How much did you know about that rivalry before you got here? And then it does kind of get ingrained in you, right? That you don't like anything red and you want to win that one bad.
Yeah, honestly, I knew a little bit about the rivalry, but it definitely became way more important when I came here, man. Like, honestly, I ain't got to say it.
Right? It is. It just becomes a piece of it, right?
Yeah.
It's ingrained in it, and there's talk from both sides, which is good. That's what makes the rivalry good. Proximity. I mean, we're literally, as we sit here on campus recording this, we're 15 minutes from. If we drove 15 minutes east, we're in Wisconsin, right? So you've got that proximity as well, and then probably what you aren't as much aware of is the fan base, hungered for that thing because it was 14 straight years without it. And then you guys got it in 18, and now you've gotten it in back-to-back years for the first time in a while. So the fan base, of course, relishes in the whole thing as well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, the fan base is really what make it awesome, man. That's really what builds a rivalry, builds the excitement around it. So, we love it. Both fan bases are crazy. Both love their teams. So that's why it's, the best rivalry in college football, honestly.
Yeah, and it's the most played now in terms of continuous years. It's like 132nd time they've played against each other, and then 109 straight, right? And it's tied. Is that amazing? Think about it. I mean, they first played this game. I always get a kick out of this, and people are going to get sick of me using this, but they first played that game in 1890. 1890.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, how do they? I mean, I always joke, did they take a stagecoach? I mean, how do they? How do they even know to set it up there? I don't even know if there's telephones.
Playing on on dirt.
Like, yeah, you're playing on dirt. Who knows how? But that's the beauty. You think about people in 1890 played that game, and here you are 130 years later playing in it as well. What is it like? Obviously, it was great to win it at home last year, and the crowd rushed the field, and you played jump around. So this for you is the second time winning it on the road. What's it like playing at Camp Randall in a rivalry game like that?
Man, it's awesome, man. Camp Randall, it gets super loud, man. Jump around when it comes on after that third quarter, man. It's a sight to see, man. And seeing all those people in red jumping around is crazy. So, they're, like I said, man, they're just like our fans. They're crazy. They love their team. So it's always a great experience to go in there and take it away from them.
All right, so you've played opposite the field of Lemecki Brockington now. Did you know he had that kind of burst?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, that was an amazing play.
Oh, yeah. It was
to
awesome,
score
man.
that game when he touched on 45 yards. So he catches it, Ethan hits him on the fly, and off he goes. And two guys had the angle.
Yeah,
and he just was having none of it. Yeah, so you've seen that because I knew he was good, and I knew he had some wheels. And you can actually hear in my call how. I don't know in my time here, 17 years, I've ever gotten to that high of a pitch because you start getting excited, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
And because I'm watching, I'm like, well, this isn't great. You got the first down,
right.
You're going to move, and then and he's gone, and it's a touchdown, and it's like a lightning bolt, and then the defense holds. And how nervous were you? Having again to watch as that was the freakiest end where penalties there and then penalties back and then interference and then false start.
It was crazy.
And nuts.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Man, I almost ran out there. I could have. I should. Man, it was crazy, man. I was like, man, like, can this game just end? Like, let's get this axe, man. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but I'm just glad it all worked out.
It all worked out. Were you, as that's unfolding, are you way more nervous as an observer than if you would have been out there in the thick of it?
Definitely, 100%.
Like, you just because stuff's out of your control.
Yeah, I can't control nothing. I can't go out there and make a play from the sideline. But I was just keeping my fingers crossed, man. I was like, please, let's get this stop, man.
And you get the stop, and then what's the emotion at that point? Are you sprinting onto the field, or are you just soaking it in?
Oh, sprinted straight for T-Time and J-How. That's
your two guys.
Yeah, that's straight who I went to. I don't remember anything else after that. I just remember sprinting at T-Time, J-How, jumping up with him, and then after that, it just went black. I don't know what happened after that.
Oh man, so it was so cool. Such such a jubilation to win that thing again, and you're going to get another opportunity as well. Let me quickly read here our sponsor mention here before we wrap up our interview with Tyler Nubin. Affinity Plus sponsors our player profile segment, and it's your local credit union proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. If you're a current Gopher student or a proud Gopher alum, you're eligible to join a financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including right off campus in Minneapolis. You can learn more and find out other ways to connect. Here's the web address we want you to use: affinityplus.org/GoGophers. That's affinityplus.org/GoGophers. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. And for his appearance here on the Go Gopher podcast, we have a $100 gift card for Tyler Nubin. Your gas money again, you say, huh?
Definitely all gas, man. All gas.
So it's getting a little cheaper to buy gas, so that's good. The cards will go a little farther.
It'll fill me up this time.
So we've talked about the X. We talked about Lemecki. How about Ethan Kaliakmanis? And again, he was the scout team guy last year, so you saw him a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
What can you say about him as the future now looks to be here with him?
Yeah, he's a crazy talent, man. He works extremely hard, man. I still remember, all those Wednesday practices doing 7-on-7 against the scout team, him carving up our entire first team secondary, and I was like, who is this kid? Like, this is crazy. But he works really hard, man, and he cares a lot. He's an ultra competitor, so that's really what makes him so good, man. He just refuses to lose.
You guys are both Chicago area guys.
Yep.
Were you aware of him much when he signed, and have you been able to connect a little bit, bond a little with him because of that background, both from the same general area?
Yeah, for sure, a little bit, man. He's more like close with my brother just because they're in the same class.
Sure.
But, I definitely knew about him when I was coming up in high school. And, I was excited about him when he did commit here. So, we do got that little connection, man.
Little connection for sure. And, so take me through the Wednesday 7-on-7s. Is that throughout the season or is that in camp? And he was finding some spots where you guys weren't?
Yeah, so Wednesdays are our big third down day. And so, we have a lot of, 7-on-7 on Wednesday just because, obviously that's a throw down. So, it's more 7-on-7 periods than we usually get. And I just remember, it was a good couple Wednesdays where he probably went 14 for 14 in 3 7-on-7 periods. And it's ridiculous. This kid's not missing a throw. He's rolling out, throwing opposite, just making just silly throws. just stuff that he's just playing out there. So I was like, okay, what is going on? Who is this kid? Who gave him a Patrick Mahomes power up? I don't know what was going on, but yeah, he's special, bro.
Yeah, I remember Coney, I think last year even mentioned it at one point.
He tweeted it.
Man, this dude is going to be able to play. So, and sometimes the scout team. So the scout team, for those that don't know, the scout team are guys who eventually hopefully play, mostly younger guys, but they want to give the other teams look. So let's say you're playing Purdue, for example, then all week they kind of have to be Purdue, right? And show the look. So in some cases, I suppose you don't want the scout team to carve up a defense.
Honestly, it made us better, bro, for real. It really did make us better, man. We had to be on our toes every single day when we were going up against him, man. He really did make our defense better last year. Just keeping us working, man, throughout the week. Honestly, sometimes scout team look would be better than what we saw on Saturday. Sure. Not gonna lie. So it was definitely making us better for sure.
Yeah, what was they say? Iron sharpens iron. So going against high level stuff works. That's 100%. For sure. Well, you and your family are going to have fun next week then, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's end it on that. You guys enjoy it. Let's go get a win out in New York City in the Big Apple and enjoy. Soak it all in, man.
Yes, sir. I will, man.
I'm excited you're coming back next year too.
Yes, sir, man.
That's great. All right, there he is, Tyler Nubin. It's episode 50, the Go Gopher podcast.
My thanks to Gopher great safety Tyler Nubin, who was our guest this week on the Go Gopher podcast, special edition number 50. What an impressive person and player. I hope you enjoyed listening to the Go Gopher podcast as much as I enjoyed hosting it this week. The Go Gopher podcast is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/GoGophers. They have a top-ranked mobile app, and they sponsor our player profile as they did today with Tyler Nubin. We're also brought to you by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past Go Gopher podcast, and please be sure right now to subscribe to the Go Gopher podcast by clicking that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to subscribe and free to listen. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Thank you for listening all year long. We'll talk again next week.